The first part that we are going to do in advance are the eyes for our neytiri cake. And I believe that for this technique, everything you need, you already have at home in your kitchen or in your workshop. Maybe you don't have isomalt, you have to buy isomalt and some confectioner glaze. It's edible glaze spray for the protection of our isomalt eyes. I will show you later how to use it. And what we need is pastillage. I'll give you the link to my free recipe online. And we need oil spray, we need some gel colors, and I have here some thin brushes for the details. I also have edible pen, maybe I will use it. It's useful to have a scale, so your balls, your eyes, will all be the same size. And I have a little cutter to help me get the round shape that I'm looking for. I believe it's 24 millimeters in diameter. So we have isomalt, like I said, confectioner glaze. I have some starch here, and I have kitchen towel because isomalt can get very hot, and some gloves will come handy. I have wet and dry towel for my table, and I have here this is silicone mold. It's only for melting purpose. It would be useful and better if I had a little bigger one. This is very shallow, and but I think I can manage with that, because you can also heat and melt the isomalt in a jar like this. It's a microwave safe glass jar, but it's very difficult to clean it after. So today I'm going to use this one. So this is all that we are going to need, and now I'm going to show you how to do it. I've already heated up and kneaded my pastillage. And the way you do that, when your pastillage is hardened, you put it in a microwave. And how long? You simply measure the grams of your pastillage. Let's say we have 400 grams. You take 1 zero off, you have 40, and then you divide it by 2, and you have 20. 20 seconds in a domestic microwave is enough to heat up your pastillage, and then you just give it a nice knead. So I've already done that, and I can make my balls now. I'll use the scale. We need 30 grams for each ball. A bit too much. Okay. 30. Okay. We'll make 4 of them, just in case something goes wrong, that we have another one to use. You can use oil spray, it's very helpful. Just put it on the table, a little bit in your hands, but not too much, because your pastillage can get yellow color. Knead it again. Then make a ball. Pastillage can get hardened very fast and get dry, actually. So you have to be quick and always knead it first. Try to make all the balls the same shape. After you've done your balls, leave it to dry. It's going to take you from day to 2 days. Depends on your environment, and it's best to dry it out on a piece of cardboard. It's faster this way. So I've already done 2 of them, not quite to the end. I still need a black middle. Now I have 2 of them to go through with you. First, let me show you. This is my reference picture for the eyes. Let me see if you can see it. Those are the eyes. You can see they are yellowish and a little bit of brown, orange and green in the circle. So let's do that. Excuse me, I'm gonna sit for this one so my hands are steady. Okay. First of all, we are going to make a circle. Hope you can see it. The good thing about this pastillage is that you can wipe it off, any excess color. It cleans very easily. Just use a cotton, what is this, cotton ball. Just let your eyes dry and then I'm going to show you how to make a little white spark in the eye. For this little white spark in the eye, you just take a craft knife or a regular knife and you scrape off the black part a little bit. So you get something like this. And you repeat that on every eye. Now we are going to melt our isomalt and dip the eyeballs in the isomalt to get that clear finish and to make our eyes look more realistic. Before we melt our isomalt, we're going to do some extensions for our eyeballs to make our dipping in the isomalt easier and not to get burned. Isomalt is very hot when you melt it, so you have to be very careful. And we're going to do some extensions to prevent our hands to get burned. Our eyeballs are ready. Now we're going to melt our isomalt. I have my gloves on because it's very hot and all the jar can get very hot, or this one also. and we have to be very careful. So you could melt it in a glass jar like this, and you can melt it in a silicone mold. Why I use silicone mold is because the glass jar, it's very difficult to clean, and this one you just pop it out, all the remainings, you pop it out and you store them and you can use it again, and you don't have to worry about cleaning this mold. So I'm going to put my isomalt here. Hope it's enough. We are going to melt our isomalt. It's going to take us just a few minutes to melt our isomalt, and I need to tell you two things. The first one is try not to stir it because it can get crystallized afterwards. And the second thing is you need to bring the temperature of your isomalt to 170 degrees or a little above, but you don't need to worry about that. After it's all melted, it's already reached the right temperature, so you don't need to measure that. So let's go and melt it in a microwave, and we will do it in a short bursts of time. For the first one, I'm gonna leave it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Then I'm gonna do just this to distribute the heat, and then I'm gonna repeat it. This is after 30 seconds. Nothing is happening yet. Just do this. Be very careful. It can get very hot. Okay, let's repeat. This is after 1 minute. It's already melting in the middle. Just mix it up a little bit, and we'll do another 30 seconds. This is our isomalt after a few minutes in the microwave. You can see there are some little pieces of unmelted isomalt. So we're going to put it back in the microwave for half a minute, maybe 15 seconds will be enough. And we'll see what happens. Our isomalt is all melted. We're just going to wait a few seconds for all the bubbles to settle, and then we are going to dip our eyeballs. Now we're going to dip the eyeballs in the isomalt. We're going to let our isomalt cool down a little bit, then we are going to do the second ones, and we will probably need to heat up this isomalt here a little bit also. There are some little bubbles on the surface of the isomalt, so I don't have a blowtorch for creme brulee. I'm going to try with lighter. Just be careful when you do this. That's the way to get the shine, just with a little bit of heat, and to get rid of all the bubbles. This is all done. Now I'm going to show you how to glaze your eyes with the confectioner glaze. And we do that because isomalt is very hygroscopic, and that means that it absorbs the moisture from the air, and we need to prevent that. Otherwise, our eyes can get melted, and we don't want that. I've let my eyes cool down a little bit, and I don't want to wait too long. I have to glaze it right now because isomalt can start to absorb the moisture very quickly. So let's do this. Make sure you protect your table. It's very difficult to clean this one. You just spray a thin layer. And let it dry.